Man, what up, man? It's your boy King Moses, live from the porch, man. I'm back again, man. Another one came across my desk that I gotta speak about, man. Listen, man, I pray for these kids, man, in more ways than one. I'm dead ass serious when I say this, okay? And I'll get into that throughout this video on the reasons why. But this is the stuff that young men need to know about because you need a blueprint on how this game goes, how to navigate through this nonsense, these shenanigans. You got to know your opponents and your opposition and the agenda that's being set out to disrupt the young black men or black men in general and disrupt the way of the world. Um, this has been going on for decades, you know, and it's not going to stop. So again, it's going to be situations where men, young men, older men that know what's going on need to be able to pass that information, that knowledge on to the descendants and the young future men and keep this thing going. Otherwise, we're gonna fail as men, and that's what the man wants from their perspective. They don't want us to overcome. So let's give some background on this Gypsy Jezebel bedwench, Eboni K Williams. She is an American lawyer. She hosts a show on the Griot. She's one of them smarty art, intelligent, and when I say intelligent, I mean book smart, intelligent Jezebels. So she's got her masters and JD, all that other high sedity stuff. She's pictured here. I don't know which one it is, the left or the right, but she's also an AKA. Go figure. So you can already know the stereotype kind of fits with what's going on right here with those type of people. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but more often than not, when men come across these women that go to college, that are in these sororities or whatever, they fit a certain type, and they're usually kind of like this, stuck up, elitist, looking down on people, and then if they are looking up to you, they have an unrealistic expectation of you that they look for. You have to be making a certain type of money, certain type of stature, which is fine. Everybody has their own expectation, right? But basically, if you're not that, then you are beneath them, and they don't want to go, below their quote unquote standard, right? Which is very good context, as we'll go into the next video also to give you some more background about this type of person. She was a host at Fox News as well or whatever. She's an American lawyer. So it gives you the background. Very attractive. She bad. You know what I mean? And that's the tricky part. And some of these dudes, young men, you'll see, if you come from a certain environment or whatever, you're going to see a certain type more often than not in your neighborhood, in your area, whatever, where it's like, okay, well, you get the hood ghetto types or whatever. You might see the smart prissy types or whatever that maybe in the suburban areas or whatever, depending on where you are. So when you see something different than what you're accustomed to seeing, you're gonna get an attraction to it or fascination. So if you're used to seeing ghetto hood joints or whatever all the time or whatever as a youngin, and then maybe you go to college and you see a woman like this, you be like, oh wow, she's not like the ones that I should have stayed away from or whatever, or that your mama or your auntie, or maybe just something internally in you say, okay, I don't need to deal with these type of women, or this is not the type of woman that I would want to date in the ghetto that I grew up in. But this type of woman, smart, she has ambition, da da da. This is the type of woman I would want. But in all actuality, she might not want you. Or she might want you for the temporary, but she wants to move on to something bigger and better because she sees you as a person that's not going to achieve much based off of your background. Who knows? You know what I mean? It's a tricky thing, but just off of the face value and the surface, this looks like the type of woman that, like, oh, this is a wifey material type of thing, based on what you want. You know, that's how I looked at it when I was coming up as well too. So yeah, and they're tricky and they're dangerous because they have this very, very poisonous mindset. Not all, but a lot of them have this poisonous mindset where they make you feel less of if you're not at this point or whatever. And this is why this gender war thing is going on, because of women like her, or women that look like her or act like her. So let me give you some more background on why she was, I guess, viral, or why I even came across, you know, who this Gypsy Jezebel was. So she went viral a while back ago, whatever, some comments that she made, because basically she's complaining about how they're no good men, you know, blah blah blah, and I forget how to pronounce the name of this, the Fix My Life woman is Alana. She's the therapist. She interviewed her and she just asked her whatever, like, oh well, you know, there may be some good men that you might be overlooking. Would you be, you know, open to dating a bus driver, for example? And she went viral based off her response or whatever. And she looks like the type where, again, she's a gypsy that she wants attention, so she's gonna say certain things to gather engagement, and this is how she makes her money. You know, for entertainment value. She does also believe this, whatever, but she could capitalize off of her beliefs by, you know, these engagements. So let's give some background on what she said and why she went viral.
Some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society.
When some of us...
So, all right, boom. So you already heard that or whatever. I mean, if you've been out in the streets or whatever as a young man, grown man, older man, you've seen these types or whatever, right? So again, this is just another reinforcement. This is why dudes lie. Again, I don't condone it. I don't like it. But this is why when dudes go to these day parties, and I'm not talking about, because again, the club atmosphere now has changed. This is not an atmosphere where, for where I've seen, a lot of the clubs are, you have more opportunity to talk to someone than ever. There's more talking than dancing and all that. So you're in these vicinities of these women, and whether it's a day party, a brunch, a happy hour, a lamp, whatever, you're gonna see these type of women or whatever. And depending on where you are, you're gonna get. I know in DC, it happens all the time because these women have jobs, government, whatever the case may be, or whatever. If you're in an area where there's the high median for income, especially for women, they're gonna have an expectation where they want more than what they got. So you'll have a situation where you might be having a conversation with a woman and she says, I'm not dealing with somebody that's not making less than 100K. Again, I just made a video yesterday about this. So if you're in a scenario where, as a man, I keep running into these women that want this, you have two options. One, you move, get away from this area because this is like the norm. Or two, well, it's three options. Two, let me go ahead and try to make 100K so I can at least meet the minimum criteria to get women. Or three, you're going to lie about it. And you're going to find creative ways to lie about it so you can get what you want. I'm a advocate of being honest as much as possible. You can honestly lie. So there's going to be some gray areas, but overall, you should be who you are. If you are a man that makes 80K, you should own it, be happy, because there are plenty of women. First of all, it shouldn't be about the money, but there should be plenty of women that are available to you, which they are, that you can make what you make, and that should be suffice. Second of all, what women and what I've seen that women don't have is patience. They want what they want right then and right now. So if they are ready to get married, they're not trying to wait. They don't want to deal with a dude or whatever. Yes, you have some dudes that will lie or string you along or whatever and not keep it real. That's not the type of time they want. But there are other dudes that are potentially the right fit for you to be marriage material, but you just don't want to wait because you want to be married right now based off of your last relationship or a homegirl that got married or whatever the case may be, or your biological clock. They want to rush. If they want to have a child right now, which we will get into later, they don't have the patience. They don't want to wait for the right one. They don't want to wait to get married. They want to be a baby mama so bad. And if they can't be a baby mama to somebody, whatever, if they don't want to adopt, they want their own, they want what they want right now, they'll go to the sperm bank or whatever and get the shit shot up or whatever, and the eggs or whatever, and all this weirdo ass shit, test tube baby shit. Because they're impatient. If they want a man that owns a bus company, they want one that owns one right now. You might meet one that, hey, is very ambitious. He's, a bus driver right now, whatever, but he is in line to own his own bus company. That's not good enough. They don't have the patience and the time to wait to go and help and develop that man to get to that point. And then realistically, she's settling even if you say, oh, if he owned the bus. If he owned the bus or whatever, and whatever the case may be, it's going to be a point where her mind is going to change. Okay, well, I need you to own a fleet of buses. Or, oh, now I need you to do something else or whatever, because it's not sexy enough. It's not something to brag on to her homegirls in the sorority when they go to the brunches or whatever, It's not glamorous. It's not IG worthy. You can't fucking get followers and likes and comments to be saluting that or whatever, because it's just not, it doesn't get them enough clout. It doesn't fit the gypsy criteria. Okay? And men have to realize this is the time that women be on. Most women be on. So, again, it's been there's been a lot of situations where you weren't where you were as a man for a certain type of woman. They didn't want to deal with you because you didn't have this, you didn't have that, or you didn't look like potentially you were going to be this. And then, not because you want to prove something to the woman, but you just want to do your own thing. You want to do for yourself. And then later on in life, 5 years from later, whatever, you end up being who you want to be. You feel comfortable. And then now, there's been a change of the guard where that woman's potential or mentality of what potential looks like as a man has changed or lowered, because she's gone through the ringer and she's like, oh, I'm not finding what I wanted, so let me try to lower my standards. And then she sees you again and like, oh, well, he has elevated his standard to where he was to now more than what I bargained for or what I would even accept for me. So let me go circle the block. And then once you circle the block, then you should both flex her and then keep it moving. Because she doesn't really take you seriously. She doesn't care about you. She cares about what you have, what you are offering or bringing to the table, or what she can brag to somebody else about that you have, or that what you could potentially do for her. That's it, and that's all. So those comments from this Eboni K Williams, Gypsy Jezebel, She's already told on herself that she's had an expectation of a man that she wanted that she cannot get, and the men that are available to her, she doesn't have the patience enough to deal with them or has the desire. It's not about that there are no men out there that fit a criteria or that would be a match for her. She just can't obtain them for whatever reason. Now, one could argue, yeah, on the physical side, she could get any man she has or any man she wants. But more often than not, with men, you see a lot of attractive women that are physically attractive, but mentally and emotionally ugly. Bad attitudes. Just real turn offers, and it's like, okay, well, we're only just gonna smash you, and that's it. Or I might play like I like you, whatever, just to smash, which I don't agree with, that lying shit or whatever, but I'm gonna play like we in a relationship because that's what you want to do right now, and you're not gonna verify that I'm being truthful or not. So I'll play along like we in a relationship just to smash or whatever, and then go about my business. And then now, because she's not achieved the success that she wants in a relationship, she's going to take it out and be angry at all men or whatever and blame all men or whatever. You know what I mean? Until she achieves her Prince Charming. That's usually how it goes. So now we circle back again to wrap this video up about a decision that this Gypsy Jezebel just made. And again, the irony. See how it all comes circle backs around. So let's play this one and go into this.
I'm so sorry. First of all, I would like to apologize in advance to Ebony because I know that this is going to come off offensive, and I know black women do not like accountability, and we're just going to some kind of way make me the problem. But I just want to say this is a problem. You have a woman who went viral for talking about how him being a bus driver is an issue. Meanwhile, she is a sperm bank to have a kid. This is an eligible, dateable, marriageable woman who's at a sperm bank to have a kid with IVF because you ain't got no man. You should be lining them goddamn bus drivers up. You should be lining them up. But white supremacy got black women under the impression that this is acceptable, but the bus driver is not.
Salute to this young lady that has some sense and very good common sense. She's absolutely right. And the irony. So you mean to tell me that, and again, this is not advocating for she should have got a bus driver. I don't care. She has her preference. But you mean to tell me that you are that desperate, you are that horny, and drunk off horny water for a baby that much that you are willing to go to a sperm bank and become a single baby mother. And this is the image that you choose to portray, that this is okay, that this is cool. There's no consequences to this. No consequences to your selfishness. And again, you are bringing in a child in this world as a single mother. Willingly, voluntarily. You went to a sperm bank for this. Not that, oh yeah, you hooked up with a dude or whatever, it didn't work out. You know, the child is still going to have a father, whether he's absent or not, but he knows that he has a father out there in the world, or whatever the case may be. And it's not about financial. It's not about financial. But I've already said, but I'm tired of this whole, single mama shit or whatever. And, some people got to do what they have to do, whatever, but you willingly chose to do that? That's nasty work university. I swear, if men were doing, like, if there were heterosexual men, no diddy, no hate on the LGBT, but I'm talking about a heterosexual male that chose to do this, that said, oh, well, let me go ahead and get IVF, not have sex with a woman or whatever, right? Let's just go with this. As much hate Nick Cannon gets for impregnating women to just have his child and he takes care of them financially and is able to see them when he can or whatever, as much hate as he gets for being a person that just wants to have children and not have a relationship or marriage or anything with these women, but is taking care of them financially and making sure that the children are being brought up as best as possible, whatever. He gets so much hate, but this is cool. This is okay. This is about to be the new meta. I hope not, but this could be the new meta where it's with women to be like, you know what, I don't need a nigga. I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the sperm bank or whatever. I don't need child support or whatever for them to do. Because there's already a problem right now where, again, marriage rates are going down, child support rates are going up. And this is the new meta. It's like, oh, why do I need to be married or whatever? I can collect child support from a nigga for 18 years or whatever. That's the meta. So then you'll have these Hasidity, Gypsy, Jezebel, bedwenches that will be like, oh, I'm in an elite class. I don't need child support from a dude or whatever. I can have a baby on my own. These kids are not fucking pets. And these women keep treating these kids like pets. And that's why I say I pray for these kids, because they're coming up in this fucking Gypsy Jezebel bedwench era where the importance is not about the kids' well-being. It's about the clout of, oh yes, I have a baby on my arm. Look how many fucking IG followers I can get off of my child. Look how much money I can make off of my child. Collecting child support and creating an Instagram picture and going viral on TikTok and doing all these dumbass dances. I can raise my own camera person because they can follow me around while I strut and be a fucking IG model, mime that just walks around, don't say shit, and just shakes my ass and makes my booty cheeks bounce up and down from left to right like a fucking drill sergeant. It's sickening. It's sad. It's a disease out here. This BBL, brain cell disease era. I hate it. And this is why I continue to pray for these kids from the womb to the tomb. Because you're affecting these kids from birth and then they end up growing up and seeing this shit or whatever and don't know how to navigate through this bullshit. And the irony of this, to wrap this up, this broad didn't want no fucking bus driver. I don't know if this test tube baby that she has is going to be a man or woman. But what would be the irony if this child, man or woman, grows up to be a fucking bus driver? This your boy King Moses, live from the porch. Like, subscribe, comment, all that other shit or whatever. You know my motto. I'm here for the know, not the show, man. And again, man, I really am praying for these kids, man.